Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today, I eat paste. That's right. I eat paste. That's whose defense we're going to go over. Sometimes I think you guys make these names up just so that I'll sound like an idiot on stream, but you got to understand, you don't need to do that. I pull that off on my own just fine, so don't even bother helping me out. No, I eat paste actually has a really interesting defense. We took a moment to preview this before I started the video, which was kind of a disaster. We're on our third or fourth take of this thing anyway. You can see some of the behind the scenes stuff by watching my stream recycles, which I'm going to try and post on YouTube. Anyway, team number one, we grade on 5 different things. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. We've got Wave 1 Avengers here, and I'm going to turn this down. It's a little loud in my ear. Hold on just a second. There we go. All right, Wave 1 Avengers. Okay, Hulk should probably be a healer, but you've already got him invested as a fortifier. That's fine. Skirmisher, Striker, Raider. I'd like to see you switch the ISOs on Thor and Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye should be a striker to pair with his shield partner there. they do some assist calls, and the striker combo, the striker skirmisher combo works really well there. Thor as a raider is my preference. However, you already have him war ready as a striker. It's not worth changing. So yeah, this honestly, like, none of these changes are worth it, but this isn't the optimal build. So I'm going to give you a B for this. I do like the placement on that. You got that part right. All right, Fantastic Four with She-Hulk and Skirmisher, Fortifier, Striker. Okay, I do like She-Hulk better as a skirmisher, but Fortifier's fine. She doesn't have a lot of synergy with any of them, so I'm not even going to dock you for it, because Fortifier is a good choice. That is going to be one absolutely brutal She-Hulk to get through if you come in and try to use negative effects on this team. Otherwise, you got the ISOs, you got the placement, everything's right. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A for that team. You might consider bringing up the power level of this team just a little bit. It seems like you've got a pretty sizable investment in them. But they are kind of over the hill, so that's really up to you. But I mean, that 7 Red Star She-Hulk, this team could be a formidable defense. I know they still run this defense at the high end, so still has some value. Team number 3 is Mercs with Doom. I've never seen Doom on the Mercs. I'm not sure if this is a valuable place to put Doom. How is this going to play out? So you need to not be blown up by Taskmaster, and you need to ability block Doom. X-Force is not going to touch this team. I'm not sure if Skilletary is going to have it. I don't know. X-Force might actually be okay on this, but you'd have to have a really big X-Force. I mean, the number is the thing. This is a deceiving number up here. This is like 30% Doom's power level, right? Gosh, I don't even know what I would take into this, because X Factor is going to get blown up by the Mercs. I'd probably try Skilletary. I don't know if Skilletary has the control to handle Doom. This actually might be a pretty good build. I like this, actually. I'm not sure how to deal with this. Leave a comment down below how you would deal with this team, because I'm kind of stumped on it. I don't have a surefire way of taking care of it, other than maybe like the Hella Zemo, the Hella Hydra team with Zemo and Hella on it, spreading ability blocks around. But you'd have to have a pretty big one to survive the opener from Taskmaster and stuff. Also, they're going to have defense up from Shuri. That's interesting. You've got 1 skirmisher, 2 strikers. I would make Lieutenant a striker, tell you the truth. He's just so small. He's pretty inconsequential. Your Riot Guard should be bigger also, because he's putting those deflects out there, which is of value and doesn't require him to be bigger. But the longer he can stay in the fight and put those deflects on Taskmaster, the better you are. Also, you should probably consider doing an adjustment on your placement, making Riot Guard adjacent to Doom and Taskmaster, and then having, yeah, so it'd be like Shuri, Lieutenant, Taskmaster, Riot Guard, Doom is how your placement should be. Then you get those extra deflects on Doom. Yeah, increase your power level, adjust your placement. This is a really interesting team, and I don't know how to I'm stumped as to how I would go into this. I'd have to test it out a couple of times to be sure, and that's not what you want to do in war. You want to know what you're doing, and you want to go in and destroy it. This is kind of a scary team. There are some things you can do to fix it, so I'm going to give you a B on this, but you did score some extra points for something new. Okay, excuse me. So over here we have a traditional hybrid, which is the Inhumans with Coulson and Surfer. Now, we've seen this team for a long time, but they're stubborn. They're kind of challenging. They don't have a lot of counters, and the placement on this doesn't matter so much. Your power levels are a bit wonky. Coulson isn't adding much value at his power level, and I don't think you're getting a lot of heal out of Crystal either. So you may want to consider replacing them or beefing them up a little bit. I don't know of any rumors along the way that would add value to either of those tunes anytime soon, so I'm not going to advise you to invest in them. But yeah, they're not doing a whole lot for you, so you might be able to build a better hybrid by taking those two out. Being your Black Bolt and your Surfer are so big, you've got this nice fat yo-yo too. So that's the only thing I can suggest is building that up or replacing those two outside tunes. Otherwise, that's pretty good, so I'm going to give you a B+ for that. Actually, you know what? I'll give you an A- for that. You're not doing, see, Skirmisher. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Healer, Skirmisher, Striker, Raider. No, you got two Strikers, two people putting vulnerables out. Yeah, so that's an A- for that. H for H. Fortifier. I like Healer on Luke Cage better. Striker, Healer. I like Skirmisher better for Iron Fist, but that's okay. And Skirmisher and Raider, that's good. Placement's fine. You might want to consider putting Luke or Iron Fist adjacent to Luke Cage, swapping places with Colleen Wing, but who cares? You know, these teams they're either going to hold or they're not. The placement's not going to matter too much at the ridiculous power level and the ridiculous teams that you've got to use to go into them. Great big number there. It's going to call for a great big Infinity Watch or Weapon X team. Yeah, so I think you could tweak the ISOs is the only thing. I'm going to give you an A- for that. Okay, on this we've got New Warriors plus Minn-Erva and Doc Ock. Okay, so Cloak and Dagger are kind of the squishy ones in here. I think what you're trying to do is make sure that Minn-Erva stays alive so that if Cloak or Dagger die, they get revived. Deathpool is going to be getting those deflects. Minn-Erva's getting those deflects from Doc Ock. You've got two healers. Your ISOs are set up right for the rest of the team. So, yeah, it's pretty good actually. I think I like it. The alternative would be to try and get Cloak. Like swap places with Deathpool and Cloak, maybe? Schmaybe? I don't know. You know what? This is pretty good. I don't see any huge mistakes here. I'll go ahead and give you an A for that. It's a little different too. I like it. Okay, Emmarauders with Eternals. Here's the only problem with this. Somebody's probably going to come into it with an Eternal Killer team, which will probably clear out your Emmarauders also. Honestly, I think some of the best places for the Eternals to go is with some really scrub tunes that don't matter because it's all about the Eternals. Emma's giving him some speed, but they'll probably just come into this with like an Emma Loki or Emma Cable version of their Eternals, like what we see in Arena a lot of the time. And of course, they're using AoEs to kill people, and I don't think your Strife is going to hold up to that AoE. He might, actually, because it's not in Arena. They're not getting their Arena bonus. But that's probably what's going to happen, and this team's going to fold anyway. So, it's a good place to try it. You've got somebody taunting, although Strife isn't taunting as early as you think because he's only got two villain mutants with him, so he's not getting as much speed on spawn as you think he would. So they might even be able to sneak around Strife, and you know, you could go in with a Zemo Eternals team or something to beat this. There's lots of things that could happen. So I think you should break this team apart. I think you should use your Emmarauders either as hybrid tunes for offense, or build a hybrid Emmarauders defense team. They're nothing to get excited about, but I mean, you've got a sizable investment in these tunes. You kind of want to use them. Otherwise, I like the ISOs. Placement is inconsequential, and you know, you tried. I just think you should break this up. So I'm only going to give this a C+, because I think it's a tough team, but this team, it could be two teams. Not necessarily two tough teams, but it could be two teams. Number 8 is Astonishing AxMen with Phoenix. You're taking a super tough to beat raid team and making it even tougher with Phoenix. This is going to be really frustrating for people to come into. I imagine they're going to use Kestrel coming into this, and if you get magic, that could really defeat that counter for this team. So this is pretty good. Skirmisher, Striker, Raider on Iceman. I don't like Raider on Iceman at all. I think he should be Skirmisher 100% of the time. Striker on Bishop, and then Striker on Phoenix. Doesn't really matter what ISO you put on Phoenix, because when she goes into Dark Phoenix, it doesn't carry over. But, you know, Striker is fine. I like to do mine as a Skirmisher. I'm not sure if the 50% focus boost carries over to Dark Phoenix or not. I'll have to check on that. This is a pretty killer team. I don't like that one ISO. I'm going to give you an A- for this. Also, you should probably swap places with Phoenix and Iceman. No reason to have her next to Bishop. I mean, well, I guess... Hold on. Okay, if she goes under stealth and draws the attention to her, she'll have Iceman adjacent to her, but everybody else is going to be under stealth anyways. So, I understand what you were going here, trying to keep, you know, your taunting stuff over to one side with Iceman in between. But I think with the stealth feature, okay, I won't dock you for that placement. That placement's fine. It's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Here we go, number 9. Here's a Kestrel Secret Avenger team. You're using Ghost in place of Fury. That's a good move. Yeah, get Fury off of here. That's less minions on the field for a team like the AxMen or the Symbiotes to use as a crowbar to pry into this team. So I like that. I don't think Ghost has a lot of synergy with this team, because she's prolonging negative effects with her ultimate, and this team isn't putting out a lot of negative effects. Just maybe the ability block and stuns coming off Sharon Carter, those slows and stuff, but those tend to not be around when Ghost pops off her ultimate. I like this. I prefer this team on offense, but if you're going to run them on defense, that's a way to do it, is get some of those summons off of the field. Fury does some things for this team, and I like him on the offensive version, but if you're going on defense, this is the way to do it. I like your placement. I like what you're doing here. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A for this team. You do have 1 Skirmisher and 3 Strikers, though, but there's not much you can do about that. All right, Symbiotes. Earlier my chat banned me from using the word Symbiotes, along with half a dozen other words, and so now I say it out loud, and I'm like, wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. So Symbiotes I still prefer on offense, though they are pretty old these days, right? We know we're basically replacing them with the Web Warrior team. If you haven't built your Symbiotes yet, probably don't. Probably build the Web Warriors instead. But this is a huge Symbiote team, and this is going to be very frustrating to beat. You either have to come into this with like a huge Brotherhood team, and who has a Brotherhood this big? Or you have to mirror match it with your Symbiotes or something like that. It's not unbeatable, but it's frustrating. There are only a few specific counters that really work on a Symbiote team this big. You got 3 Strikers, 2 people putting out vulnerables. That's kind of... I think you should change Scream to either a Skirmisher or a Raider. But, of course, you're level 3 blue ISO, so don't do that. But if you're starting out fresh, I think she functions better as a Skirmisher or a Raider. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I do like him on offense, but, you know, I'm going to give you an A- for this. I think it could be a little bit better or use a little bit better effect. But by the size of your roster, I imagine you probably have your 10, 12, or 14 teams for offensive attacks. And so you're putting stuff on defense that you don't mind. So that's cool. Anyway, ieatpaste. Thank you for sending me your defense. That was great. If you want your defense featured on Defense Up, then contact me in my Discord. Links in the description. Be sure to comment if I made any mistakes here. I like to correct myself and produce the best content possible. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too.